Full-size trucks. If you're one of the Detroit three, these are big volume sellers and big profit margin sellers, so you don't dare screw them up. Let's take a look at the all-new Silverado, this 2014 four-wheel drive high country. Check the tech. Now the good news is, CNET got a truck. We don't get many of these, and a fair number of you ask for us to get more. The bad news is, CNET got a truck. We're not truck people, I'll be the first to admit. I mean, we're based here in downtown San Francisco. Typically you don't see a full-size pickup unless it's pulling up to read your gas meter or pulling a float in the Pride Parade. So I'm going to approach it this way, not as a truck guy, because I'm not up with you on that, but as a car, because looking around here I can tell it's a big part of this vehicle's mission, as well as towing and hauling. Now I'm not sure if I'm in a cabin or a living room on a ranch somewhere in Montana. I mean, look at this thing. You're not in seats, you're in chairs. There's room to really spread out, and everything's kind of upholstered, even more than a lot of high-trim cars. This is a very civilized place to do trucking. But then again, this is the top of the line as a high country. Here's the head unit that all these vehicles have. It's an 8-inch MyLink interface touch LCD with voice command. There is no controller anywhere here, so you're either touching that screen or talking to it. Now note something interesting here at the home menu. What's missing? True turn-by-turn GPS navigation. Instead, the base rig has OnStar Nav, which is that thing where you call the operator and they download very simple prompts onto the screen.
Connecting to OnStar.
Thank you for calling OnStar. My name is Queenie. How may I assist you today?
Hi, I need directions, please.
I'll be more than happy to assist you with that. Where can OnStar take you today?
Going to CBS Interactive in San Francisco.
I'll be more than happy to download the route to CBS Interactive in San Francisco. Thank you for using OnStar and have a great day.
Thank you. You can option true built-in nav, but it's not base, even at this lofty trim level. I was kind of surprised by that. Still, I way prefer to have an actual nav system here, and better than that, a connected nav system that lets me search Google or Bing or something. They're a couple steps behind unless you option up. What is base, however, at this trim level and the higher trim Silverados is a rear camera that does have trajectory. No special views though, no looks from different angles, no all-around cam. It's a big vehicle, but it does have really good visibility because being a pickup, there are no D-pillars like in an SUV. You can really look around and see what's around you pretty quickly, so I'm okay with the lack of sort of perimeter awareness tech. Now for the audio system. You've got radio, which is AM, FM, HD radio, satellite radio, all at this trim level. Now under the media button, you've got Bluetooth streaming with pretty good tag presentation. There's a lot of room there for the meta information. I've got my optical disc here. That's becoming kind of a scarcity in cars these days. You've also got an SD card slot over here underneath the armrest and lots of Bluetooth ports, which brings me to my next interesting note on this vehicle. Look at all the power. From 12-volt outlets to 120 outlets to all kinds of USB charging outlets to more USB outlets. Good grief. You can charge anything off this truck. Now all those sources go out through a Bose audio system standard here. It's not a surround sound system, nothing fancy and highfalutin that way. It's just a good basic sort of lots of speakers, lots of oomph. Now you've got a DIC, a driver information center here between the TAC and the Speedo. One of the best screens on it is this fuel economy screen. It does a very good job of putting all the information together to coach you to drive more efficiently. The yellow arrow at the top is your average fuel economy. The bar graph underneath it is your instantaneous, and the green arrow at the bottom is your best average over one of several mileage snapshots. Right now I've selected the 50-mile look back, but this is a really good tool to coach you how to drive for efficiency within context that means something. And finally, way over here is your real truckin' stuff. Here's your trailer brake, actuation and calibration, all right there. Below that is your four-wheel drive knob. Look how easy it's become these days. It's all electronic. Most folks are going to leave it in auto, but you also got 4, low, and high, and two-wheel drive, all right there. Now, in terms of apps, all you've really got is Pandora, and it sits here kind of all by itself, which I also argue with. So there's radio, there's media, and then at the home screen, there's Pandora, two fractured. The nice thing about it is you can launch from here, and it will launch Pandora on your phone. Not all cars do that reliably. Okay, up here in the sizable engine bay of this guy, we've got the big engine. Not the 5.3-liter base V8, But instead, we've got the big V8, the 6.2 liter. Both of them are direct injected, and both of them have active cylinder management. That means it'll run as a V8 under load or run as a V4 under cruising or very light load. Hence, MPG's not bad at 1420, given the fact this guy weighs nearly 5,400 pounds. And we're in four-wheel drive configuration here, so there's a lot of complicated drivetrain mechanism to drag things down. 0 to 60, who cares? You've also got 420 horse, 460 foot-pounds of torque, which these guys rave about being substantially higher than F-150 or Ram in similar configurations. Payload on this four-wheel drive short box is 1,950 some odd pounds. Towing capacity, 9,600. Now let's talk beds. We've got a short bed on this guy. It makes it almost kind of look a little funny when you got a big cab and a short bed. 5'8" is your standard. You could add 10 inches to get this thing out to 6'6". That would be optional. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't think you can carry a lot of the stuff you want to in a bed this size. Now, where Ford has this kind of airline stair that comes down to help you get up in your bed, GM does something much simpler. They've carved out a step in each corner of the bumper. Sure, you can stick your leg up on the bumper, but it's just that extra, 5 inches that make it possible without throwing out a joint in your hip. Once you get up here, look how nice and easy that gate drops. It's a small thing, but it's in this theme of kind of car-like creature comforts that I find interesting. Now, the first thing you're struck by, certainly in this nice high-trim high country, is if you haven't been in a pickup truck in a number of years, you're going to be surprised. The phrase rides like a truck just kind of isn't useful anymore. They ride like cars. Quiet, well sound deadened, buttoned down as you might imagine. This body-on-frame construction is like a bank vault. There's prodigious power, of course, although it doesn't come on in any really sharp way, but that's not the point of a pickup. There's huge legroom in the back of this crew cab, by the way. In fact, I could sit behind myself, no problem, and it's kind of like that legroom you get when you score an exit row. It's really good. Now let's talk about driving this guy. Big, yes, but remember that a pickup has great visibility because of so much nothing behind it. So we're looking out here and there is no blind spot detection in the mirrors. You're on your own there. What you do have is forward collision warning that I've got here and also lane departure warning. Neither is active, they're both warning. So if I get too close to this car in front of me and I close too fast, I get an alert on the head-up display here, as well as on the dash, as well as getting the old General Motors rump fumbler. They've got these vibration things built into the seat. This used to be a Cadillac trick. Now they've spread it around a bit. So it'll vibrate the butt of the seat and say, whoa, you're about to hit something up front. Same thing happens if you're backing into something and the sonar think you're about to hit a tree or a car. Now that same technology in a lane departure situation uses the camera in the windshield to see if you're drifting, and it will vibrate the left or right side of the seat, whichever way you're drifting on the lane. It's really well calibrated, I find. It just hits it just right. It doesn't wait too late and you're already in the other guy's lane, nor is it too early where it's like, leave me alone, I'm just driving here. It's well done. All in all, I could drive this thing all day long. It is a really comfortable, big American car that, of course, is actually a truck. All right, let's price this big guy. As I mentioned, this is top of the stack. So a high country four-wheel drive is going to run you about 50 grand just to start. Add another 2,000 if you want the 6.2 V8 that we've got in this guy. The high country premium package brings you the sonar, front collision warning, lane departure warning with the butt fumbler, heated wheel, and some other niceties. It also includes the trailer brake panel we saw. If you want real navigation built in, that's 800 more. There's a 3G hotspot for 600 bucks. I can't see the point, so I'd pass on that. And for just 60 bucks, you get a really bright LED bed light. I would definitely do that. All in, we're a little under 54,000 loaded up. This is a vehicle that obviously is very capable. The interesting story will be Silverado and Ram versus the new all-aluminum F-150. Ford's taking a whole new body approach and hoping they can flow in even more V6s that have done really well for them. Chevy says stick with steel, and we've got the most powerful V8 in the class. It's an interesting dichotomy, and those two are starting to diverge more than ever before.